That's the music of Deep Purple from the current album, Come Taste the Band. And if I may pun a little, it's a very tasty album. But then, aren't they always? And I'm really happy to introduce you to a small percentage of one of my favorite groups. Here they are, Ian Paice and Dave Coverdale.
Hello.
Really nice to have you in my studio.
And it's lovely to be honored.
I'm much safer with you in the studio than I ever am at your concerts. Every time I go to a concert of yours or MC for you, it's disaster. Did you know that? The first time I MC'd a Deep Purple concert, somebody pinched my purse.
Really?
That was at Nassau.
That happened to us in Indonesia.
Yeah, Nassau Community College. It was about 5 or 6 years ago. That was my first affair with Deep Purple. The second time I had the temerity at the Felt Forum to wear a dress on stage and got booed off stage. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
Remember that one? At the Felt Forum?
Yeah,
Fleetwood Mac preceded you,
right,
and everyone wanted more Fleetwood Mac and more Deep Purple and more of everything, and I couldn't give it to them. Yeah. It's just been one of those associations, but I love you dearly nevertheless.
Thank you.
How do you rate Come Taste the Band as opposed to Who Do We Think We Are or In Rock or any of the other Deep Purple albums?
I think we should, each of us, give a separate sort of opinion on that, because David only being with the band a couple of years would have one way of looking at it, and I would have another one. So I think Dave should answer it first.
Okay. David?
I think it's the freshest thing we've done since Machine Head, which isn't biased in the sense that...
Did you join as a Machine Gun?
No, I didn't join a Machine Gun. Machine Head.
Machine Head.
No, I joined for Burn, an album Burn.
Okay, so then you came after.
I'm still a new boy.
All right, you
I'm
came
still
after
after my
Who We
wings.
Think We Are, right? And
yeah.
Rock. Okay. Now, Ian, what do you rate it on a scale of 10 merely as a comparison to some of the earlier albums? Because this is the first album that Tommy Bolin's on too, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, out of a scale of 10, I don't think we've ever reached a 10 out of 10.
I do.
I think we've,
Come on. I'm a fan. What do I know?
We've had a couple of 9 out of 10s, 3 or 4 of them, and this has to be one of them.
Yeah.
Being with the band through, what is it now, getting into its 8th year.
That's right.
I've seen like a steady progression within all the changes, and I think that this album has helped us catch up a couple of years that we've maybe lost by just becoming stagnant again within what we could do.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think we've sort of caught up with 1976 now.
Yeah, I think the band changed most drastically after the first and second album. After Shades of Deep Purple and Taliesin, it was a radical change because, in my opinion, you were heading towards some kind of country rock in that very first album. Shades of Deep Purple with things like It's a Hard Road and Spell on You. I mean, it was almost a country blues rock thing, and then all of a sudden you went boom in the other direction.
When we first formed, there was a huge amount of arrangement in everything we did. Everything had a set pattern, and the pattern never varied. We managed to tolerate that through to like the third album, which sort of faded into nothing. We just called Deep Purple.
Wait a minute, In Rock, wasn't it? Third album?
No, Rock followed that. In Rock was the first album with Gillan and Glover. So the first 3 albums with the original lineup sort of filtered themselves out because everybody was getting so bored with just playing the same thing every night without any chance to embellish on it or rearrange.
Yeah, well, you became the real movers after In Rock, and that was kind of it put you on in a very unusual niche, a very unique niche with the rock. Lucky for us, I mean, because you gave the real rock devotees something to chew on all these past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
This is the Nightbird, Alison Steele, and our guest today, Deep Purple. And Ian and David are with me in the studio, I'm happy to say. David, do you think, as far as I'm concerned, Deep Purple is one of the last holdouts for really heavy rock, you and maybe Black Sabbath and a few others. Do you think the hard rock is on its deathbed?
I don't know. It's all I consider the music we play is just rock and roll, good time rock and roll.
Oh, it is good time, no question about that.
There's a saturation in the market now. There's so many artists, so many groups and people coming up. I think as long as we can have a good time and keep coming up with fresh material, fresh albums, like I think Come Taste the Band is, then I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think it's going really very well. It's going as well as ever at the moment.
Do you feel that the kind of rock that you lay down can survive, Ian? I mean, do you think it's...
Oh, yeah. I think the main problem at the moment is that everybody thinks it's very easy to play loud rock and roll and just jump on the bandwagon and earn yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars just by imitating. And that's the main problem. So many people imitate what they think is basically an easy sound to create.
And it isn't.
And it's not.
No.
And
Not
the
do
hardest
well.
things in the world is to play loud and control it.
Yes.
You know? While an outfit, a group, whatever, a band can be exciting, can be up to date, can give people what they want to hear, then there's no reason why that outfit, band, group should ever sort of stop.
Do you perceive your audience to be a specific... is there a prototype to a Deep Purple fan?
I don't think so. A few years ago I would have said yeah. We would tend to not really get people over sort of like 23, 24 years old, you know, like en masse. But now they're younger and they're older. Like the whole sort of width of the age has gone up and down.
And down, yeah.
You get 12-year-olds and you get 30-year-olds. Obviously they're growing up with us, you know.
You get people growing up with the band as well as people...
Oh, yeah,
coming
people who've
into
just discovered it. The comment that I wanted to make, Ian and David, about your audience, it seems to me, in what I've observed, that your fans seem to be, how can I describe them? Well, the animals of the world, let me put it that way. They are the most visceral fans. They are the most devoted, the most avid. I mean, a Deep Purple fan is a nut, maniac. I mean, will die for the group and everything surrounding it.
And on the other extreme, somebody who doesn't like us hates us.
Is it true?
Oh, yeah.
There's no medium
It's just as
approach.
vehement. Yes, that's true. See,
If we didn't have that
well, that's
that love-hate thing,
Oh, I agree. That's star quality.
you know, you've got to have one thing, and you don't get one without the other.
I agree.
If you're in the
that.
middle of the road, you know, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can take it or leave it, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I wasn't aware of the hating. Really, I didn't stop to think about it. But I do know that for instance, the night people that are my people that I've played to for 10 years. They're all, I mean, when I say all, large percentage Deep Purple freaks. I can't do anything wrong. I could play you every night.
Yeah.
But yes, there are some people that will, what are you playing that noise? You know, just don't understand it, make no attempt to understand it.
They're your Eagles fans, they're Crosby, Stills and Nash fans. They're
Well, or the folk
different sort of-
music,
different sort of thing.
It would be boring if everyone did it.
Oh, absolutely. There are, as Ian pointed out, there are a lot of imitators. There are a lot of groups coming up that try very hard to make the kind of sound that will keep hard rock alive. But they really don't succeed too well, and that's what I think forces the critics of hard rock to say it's nothing more than noise,
Yeah, right.
which isn't true when it's done well.